Pool fans, and welcome to the Atlantic Challenge Cup. Hello, pool fans, and welcome to the Atlantic Challenge Cup here in Chicago, Illinois. My name is Mark Wilson, and today we have as my broadcast partner the friendliest face in pool, Upstate Al.
Hey, Mark. How you doing?
Welcome aboard, Al. Glad to have you here.
Thank you, sir. And I'll tell you what, I'm super excited. Watching the previous team match, you and I witnessed that we were up in the fans, and Hell match just doesn't get any closer than that. I'm super excited. I love the way April Larson plays and the whole team. And I see some kind of unification going on. I'm digging it, and that's in the lingo that I used to use when I was a teenager. I'm really liking it.
No, these guys look really super composed for being this youthful. You would think in the first match they would exhibit some nerves, but they really didn't. I'm sure they were.
Right.
Because they care so deeply. And this match here figures to be Europe's finest player, Maxime Dudinets from Moscow versus from Ventura, California, Chris Robinson.
Yeah, I've been hearing so much about Maxime through personal friends, and not only that, through social media and his accomplishments. I mean, it's outstanding who he's competing with outside this arena.
He's run professional tournaments against pro players, so
yeah.
That pretty much says it all there. Routinely competes against the best in Europe, which, they're formidable. Talk a little bit about the break here. The 9 balls racked on the spot, and they're using a illegal break rule where 3 balls must go past the head string. 2 balls went in. Yeah, so that's going to be a legal break because 2 balls went across the head string and the ball was pocketed. Nice start for Chris Robinson.
Well, for you listening fans out there, I'll tell you one thing. If you never experienced the Moscone Cup itself, this is probably as close as you're going to get without getting out of the States right now. And if you can make it down here within the next few days, please do so. The USA needs everybody behind them, just like Europe does. And I might sound kind of biased, and 110% you're right. I'll tell you that much. But great kids on both teams.
Robinson slightly overcut the 1 ball, and Maxime is looking at possibly kicking the 1 to the side, maybe a kick safety, or he can just go ahead and play a kick safety.
Yeah, you want to favor the kick on the lower part of this 1 ball to keep the cue ball separated from the 1. It's just like that.
How's his speed? Looks very good. Yeah, I think Chris Robinson was going to be using the jump cue here.
Yeah, kicking this 1 ball off to the right long rail as he's looking towards the right long rail here. If there's any chance you get behind that 1 ball, you're in some deep trouble, as that left corner pocket becomes real large. And it got large without going to the lower rail. Ball in hand for...
He mentioned earlier today in the practice room that these tables really seem to run short compared to what he's familiar with, and once he missed this kick short, and I saw him mess up a kick earlier short, so
right.
He's really going to have to make an adjustment here. Playing on the Connelly table. Maxime Dudinets at the table, ball in hand. Nice open layout.
Yeah, you really want to start with ball in hand from this area at all times, as long as you get below the 9 ball like he just did. Now, kind of straight on the shot. He's going to have to draw it back out. Now, favor, the side of the table that's going to give you more of your odds to get position on that 3 ball, because you can draw this back. Well, he looks like he might be able to have enough angle to go forward here. And that'll work, too. Nice shot.
Really powered up, got to the side pocket here, and that took a lot of the mess or potential danger or hazards of position play out of the picture with that shot. Back in line now. Looks very composed.
Yeah, well, You know, he's been in this position numerous times against champions, you know, professional players.
That will toughen you up.
He's seasoned. Yeah, he's definitely seasoned.
He hit the pocket a little full there, and now he's going to come up just a little short on this position. This will be a little nerve tester here, early stages of the match. This is a race to 6. This is our second match of the event. Team USA leads it 1-0.
Maxime actually has a second place finish in the World Youth Championships in 2015. So he's been under the pressure, you know, playing for second place with an opportunity to knock off a youth world tournament. Is a lot. He comes up with a miss there, but you know, it's one of those misses that could work for you. I mean, can he back cut the 6 ball and take the chance? Probably can. But I think he's better off playing safe. Used the 9 ball here, but he went clear out for the long bank.
Hard to fault him there, though, because it was right in that zone where you can play safe, you can play a shot, you can play the bank, and you rather go down shooting than, as Danny DiLiberto says,
yes,
playing a phony safe.
Right.
So. Fairly straight in and long 6 ball now into the far corner pocket.
And Chris Robinson there in 2015, BEF Junior National 9 ball champion. Let's get back to Maxime here on the 6 ball. Slight cut. You don't want to bump the 7 ball here.
Nice pressure shot.
And by bumping that 7 ball, he's created an issue right now.
Well, you called it, Al, that he didn't really want to, and now he's got himself in the bind. It's difficult to play safe, and it's difficult to make the shot. Looks like he's going to go all out to cut it. Now it looks like he might be considering playing safe by just dropping onto the center of the end rail.
Yeah, that's a good shot because the cue ball goes 2 rails back up table towards the short cushion. But he just played it soft, using a 9 ball if you can. Well, I tell you what, that's close.
Yeah, that's less than ideal, and it's not an easy shot, but it looks like Robinson can do something with this 7 ball.
Yeah, it looks like he can kick it from behind and use the 9 ball.
Johnny Archer, our coach of Team USA, has nicknamed Chris Robinson Elvis
in
honor of Elvis Presley because of his hair. He's got the full front.
He went full out. I'll tell you what an aggressive shot that was.
Very well executed. He stayed down, stayed still. Now he needs to rise to the occasion here. Sometimes you make a great shot and there's a little bit of a letdown, but this is just testy enough. You cannot have a letdown here.
Yeah, just slide the cue ball over just a wee bit there. And you don't have to do anything too special.
Head
nice
was still. Yeah, nice pace. That was very confidently struck. Well, nice out there. Chris Robinson captures his game and puts the U.S. ahead 1-0. Early stages of this set. Our next match will be Ricky Evans from St. Louis versus Vitali Petsurka.
Yeah, that's close enough.
No, it isn't. Petchura.
Petchura, yeah.
From Kiev, Ukraine. Can't read my own writing here.
That's quite all right.
Ricky Evans is a kid from around St. Louis, so I know him quite well. And his dad owns the pool room. His dad's a big pool fan, and his brothers all play. And he's the youngest of the group, so he's always had to play catch up. So that's why he's such a good pressure player. He always plays under pressure. You know, you saw him. He broke and ran out at Hill to win the set for Team USA in the first match.
That was definitely super exciting, and I hope the fans out there are enjoying it. In fact, I looked at social media prior to getting in the booth, and people were going wild when it was Hill out there. So that's really nice to see that there are a lot of people interested in this, and hopefully they can make it out here one way or another. It's really I was excited when I got invited.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this is the pinnacle of youth pool right here. This is.
I'm like a kid going to camp for the first day. As you can see by the scoreboard in the background.
All right, Vitali set the break here. Rack number 2. Most everybody's been playing a slight cut break, trying to make the one on the side and the wing ball. The one on the side, but this is going to be, no, 2 balls went in, so it's a legal break.
I'd like to see that angle if that 2 ball goes in past that 8 there. Well, there it is.
It's close.
He's looks like he's got about 3/4 of the pocket, believe it or not.
That's not quite enough for me. I need about a pocket and a half to go for this.
As soon as the referee, Ricky Bryant, places the 9 back, we'll get a better picture where the 3 is on there, that lower cushion. So if that 2 does go, he's got to be careful here. That straight angle on that 9,
yeah,
he's got to be careful with. From this angle, it looks like he will come in contact with the 9 ball and just brush it.
And if there's any visual distraction, the 9's bothering you, then that makes this complexes the pocketing of the ball quite a bit, and it's already a hard shot.
Well, he had the angle just to go straight at it.
Well, he made it look effortless there. We were worried about him having enough pocket, and he hit the heart of the pocket, so a great shot. It's amazing how talented these young players are.
Yeah, we actually had the opportunity, you and I, to watch them practice yesterday and a little bit today. And they were just out there practicing, and I'm telling you, they were firing balls in the hole like you wouldn't believe. And, you know, at this point of the match, even though they've calmed down and there's no laughter in the background, I can guarantee you one thing, that outside of this match, these young players are having a really good time. And if you're out there and you're an inspiring youth that wants to get involved in this, I'll tell you what, there's plenty of websites that you can actually go on, and BEF is the Billiards Education Foundation is just one of them.
That's right. They're one of our presenting sponsors here, along with the BCA and the BBF. That's the European Pocket Billiard Federation. We really have to take our hats off to them. And Vitali's carving through a nice rack here. He's got pretty much everything in front of him.
As we would say, it kind of looks like a road map from here.
Yeah, both players, a lot of confidence.
Do you like going, just rolling this in, or do you like spinning this cue ball out of the top right-hand corner where he's looking to come out that angle for that 8 ball?
I think he's got to at least use some draw. If he doesn't go to the end rail, I don't think he can roll it.
Might be straight enough for me. Yeah, I like the 2 rail too. You come in natural here. You know, it kind of cuts down the fear of being on sort of like a straight pull shot, you know, and being that far away from the 8 ball.
Now, he's fallen just a little flat here, so he's got to make a decision as to which side of the table he wants to take the cue ball to. Looks like he can go to either side.
Yeah, he's playing a little bit of one pocket right now, Mark. Looks like he's going to play the 9 the same one. Oh, he elected to go the other way. It's not the first time I've been wrong. I've been wrong once in my career.
He couldn't have played it any better. He's perfect here, and this will tie up the match as the 9 finds the bottom of the pocket.
Team USA.
Yeah, and a very nice break and run out there.
And Team Europe are here to take the cup. The trophy is actually sitting off to the right-hand side of the monitor there. I'm not sure if we have it in the camera shot, but what a beautiful, large cup that is.
Yeah.
And that's what they're fighting for.
We would be hard-pressed to fill it with champagne and drink all of it. That's how much, how large it is.
I definitely stay away from that champagne, but I wouldn't mind pouring it over everybody's head that wins this tournament.
Yeah. Well, we got another good matchup here.
Good start, 1-1.
Christina Takash versus April Larson.
This is my favorite horse. I'm sorry to cut you short. Anytime this young lady's name was mentioned, I just go ballistic. The first time I saw her was at another event, and she's playing professionals and standing up like it's nobody's business.
She's got that magnetism to her personality. She's perpetually smiling, a lot of energy, a lot of positivity, and I think that's going to really bode well for Team USA to have her as a member because it's infectious. Where if you're dour or a little bit down and you face adversity, it's easy to kind of get into the death spiral of negativity.
Right.
So
like a chain reaction, but like what you said, we did experience that where somebody lost a match, you know, in the last frames, and I've seen not only April but every member of that team, including the captain, fist pump, you know.
Yeah.
It's okay, yeah. You know, it's okay, and then, you know.
She's a spark plug, and I just think the world of her is for what she brings to the sport. It's fun to watch. I mean, she's got super firepower. Pocketed the ball on the break and got a couple balls in the behind the head string, so it's a legal break. Doesn't look like she has a good shot on the one.
There you see Christina right there. Christina has several accomplishments under her belt along with April Larson. If I started reading them off, this match might be over. For the accomplishments that Christina has actually won.
For anyone wondering, the 9 does count as a win on the break. No, I don't think she's going to like this push out. No.
Just to give you a few accomplishments of this young lady up at the table here. In 2015, all in the same year, she's won a 9-ball girls champion. She's an 8-ball girls bronze medalist and an 8-ball women's champion. This young lady right here at the tender age of, at that time, 16.
Wow, very impressive.
Yeah, now 70.
They're using a shot clock, but she's now requesting that the cue ball be cleaned. So in this particular event, they stopped the shot clock for that. In some events, they don't allow it. They allow you to have the cue ball cleaned, but your shot clock continues so that people do not use that as an edge.
Right.
We're still learning a little bit of the way that we're going about applying some of the rules here as we go forward. Should the match go hill-hill, the shot clock is suspended and they don't use it.
Now that 2-ball is definitely going to have to be played into the side pocket. She's going to have to thread the needle between the 6 and 9, come back up for the 3-ball in this near pocket on the bottom left-hand side.
This will certainly be one of the bigger shots of the rack. Nicely struck. Oh, very well played.
Tell you what, she hit that real crisp. Real crisp. I didn't think she was going to do that. I thought she was going to roll it and kind of save the inside of that left-hand rail to play the natural position back out for the 5. Now she's going to have to force this cue ball a little bit here, unless she's just going to slide across. She forced it, and she used a lot of draw. And the 9-ball and 8-ball is starting to grow, but I'm not sure if that 8-ball got part of that cue ball. But even if it did, she's got a slight jump, just over part of the 8. She's good.
Oh boy, she's gonna have to. Yeah, she is.
Yeah,
gonna have to jump. Not a super difficult jump, but nonetheless, at least it's better than being straight in for Team USA. Here in the background, we see Rob Johnson. He made a nice opening speech here, describing what it took to put this together and pull the industry together to all work together. Very nice jump shot there.
You know, fortunate for Christina that she only had part of that 8-ball to jump over.
Right.
That whole 8-ball, the shot still would have been, what I consider, a fairly easy jump shot in today's market. But
the other half of that was the option ball was near the pocket. That also made it play a little better. And certainly a very confident young lady, and she strikes the ball crisply, like you said.
Yeah.
She's fallen on the rail. Now she might have to follow ahead and play the 9 in the side.
Well, either that or she bumps the 9 towards that right rail, and then cue ball deflects off the 9, and she can play the 9 into this bottom corner and back into the same corner as the 8. Not sure if she can get underneath it. She did get underneath it.
She did a good job to stay single-minded. She didn't really concern herself too much with the 9 while making sure that she pocketed the ball. That's an important aspect.
And cutting this 9 ball just became a little more difficult into that blind pocket, though. That upper right-hand corner pockets gave a couple of players a little bit of difficulty.
And what Al's describing is your eyes are averted away from the pocket, and some players, they get caught in between. You want to be real single-minded about your eye pattern from cue ball to object ball and not include the pocket. Shot clock's winding down. Pretty nice stroke.
Boy, she hit it good, too.
Hit the thick part of the pocket, but nonetheless, good enough. Team Europe now has a 2-1 lead.
And that's so big, the way she played that 9 ball into the outside of the pocket like that. You know, there's no need to try to split that pocket as tiny as it was. That was a smart play. 2-1, Team Europe.
Chris Robinson comes back out. And he'll be facing Vitali. Vitali broke and ran out of his first rack against Ricky Evans.
You don't hear me, do you? Okay, there you go. All right, there you are.
Score 2-1 Europe. Europe breaking.
And I'll tell you, Mark, I just want to take a second here really to thank Predator Cues, and Atlas Billiard Supplies, and, of course, Matchroom Sports. Definitely a big shout-out to everybody there.
They've always did a great job supplying all the cue makers with components. So, Atlas Billiards, thank you for getting on board. Matchroom Sports, of course, and always first class. It's the only thing that Matchroom Sports is ever associated with. Predator, they're generous with their sponsorships too. So,
I think the best cloth in the world, of course, the upper right-hand corner on that wall is Simonis cloth. As the 2 ball finds its way, man, at 90 miles an hour into the corner pocket, he hit it with no fear gear on, but got kind of straight here on this 3 ball.
Yeah. Yeah, Petchera broke and ran out of his first rack in this particular set, and he's got an open layout with a very flat angle on the 3 here. It'd be tricky to get out there on the 4. Extreme left English, center ball. He's going to pop it. He handled that like a pro.
Hit it well, kind of close to the office work here, though. I think the better shot and control would be into the side pocket, but there are players that like to play in the upper right-hand corner and kind of let that cue ball spin and get between that traffic there. And it comes out kind of nice when it happens, but when it doesn't work and you happen to bump into one of those object balls down the bottom, it just turns ugly. So he's going to elect to play the side pocket.
Shot clock winds down. Oh, he handled it well. He killed it too much. You wouldn't think he could kill it, hit it that thin and kill it that much, but he did.
Well, he's got a 2-way shot. You know, you have to make a decision here now. Either you're going to elect to play the safe or off the 5 and playing the cue ball behind the 8 ball in the 6-9 area, or you're going to play the kind of a 2-way and bank the 5 and try to hold the cue ball for the 6. But if you do that, you got to make sure that 5 ball you played on the pro side.
Nice bank shot.
He just played it straight in the way it's supposed to be played. What a great shot.
This fell a little funny though. He's going to have to make a decision. Maybe just roll ahead 6 or 8 inches and play the 8 back in the corner where the cue ball's resting now. I don't think he can afford to jack up and draw back.
Yeah, that starts adding a lot of degree of difficulty once you start jacking up on the rail here. But, you know, these are youngsters, and some of them are used to playing that way, so wouldn't surprise me if he attempted to do so.
For every degree of elevation that you raise your stick, I think you lose about that equivalent in percentage points of accuracy.
Yeah,
so if you go up 10 or 15 degrees, now your accuracy is reduced 10 or 15%.
Going up.
Okay, he feels confident about pocketing the ball.
And that's the outcome Mark was mentioning, where the degree of difficulty comes in.
This is not an easy ball to get because your cue ball's right on the rail. This will take a big shot here. Robinson is an aggressive player too.
He's firing right at it.
Yeah, he lost some of his timing, and his head popped up right away, so he found the shot distasteful, but he's going to be fortunate.
Look at here.
Backdoor safety. Petcher comes to the table.
You mentioned Danny DiLiberto, and you mentioned the word just now, fortunate. Well, he's fortunate until the outcome of his shot. Right?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure he's delighted that that's the way they arranged themselves.
I'm sure of that. You want to hit this 6 ball. You just want to hit it so you can kind of bank it off the rail. He tried it. It's a difficult shot. He almost tried to make that.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
That he tried to make it. But I like hitting a little square and kind of banking the 6 towards the right long rail and letting it come back out and letting the cue ball go up.
Yeah, kind of a one-pocket shot.
Right.
Robinson blessed with a great layout, 3 balls in the open ball in hand to start with.
I'll tell you what, it couldn't come at a better time right now as they can tie this up at 2-2.
Yeah, these 3-ball runouts are so important that you don't get yourself in trouble. It's sort of embarrassing and lack of professionalism if you do get in trouble when you started with ball in hand and 3 balls, but it's easy to do. We've all done it.
Absolutely. You got a clock in there. Chris Robinson answers back, and it's now 2-2, folks. There you see the fist pump.
Yeah, you're definitely seeing people getting settled into the match now. The nerves and jitters seem to have gone by the wayside. That's why there's always pressure, but they seem to be handling it quite well. 2-2 was our score. Team USA leading in the entire match, 1-0. Ricky Evans is back out here now. There's a good shot of the cup.
There you go, right there. And what a huge cup that is.
I know it.
I tell you, from this perspective on your monitors right now, you might not be able to appreciate it, but I'll tell you what, if you were to put a cue stick by there, that cup is huge. So they're fighting for it, and they're both teams excited. And it's going from the captains all the way down to the coaches, and of course through the players. Jeanette Lee is on premises. Allison Fisher is here, and Johnny Archer and Nick Varner, Tom Rossman. They're all here, and they're all sitting on the edge of their seats.
Yeah, that's some serious firepower right there.
Hey, you're not kidding,
I could take those 5 from my Moscone Cup team this year.
8-time world champion on down.
Yeah. A couple Hall of Famers. 4 of them. Allison Fisher, Jeanette Lee, Johnny Archer, Nick Varner, all in the Billiards Hall of Fame. All right, the St. Louis kid here. He's missing his chalk.
Against the star-studded youngster, Maxime, his opponent from Europe. His last name is pronounced Dudanets, but we understand through his team that Duda, they call him as a nickname. Here we go. Ricky Evans set the break. Watch the 1 ball going towards the left-hand side pocket.
Wing ball went in. He just another ball across the line now. It's going to be an illegal break.
Illegal break, option Europe.
And Al and I have been talking, and that's a rule that I don't fancy. I mean, just because he hit him pretty hard, made the wing ball in like a bullet. The one ball found the head string, but the other balls clattered into each other, denied another one from crossing the head string.
Well, the only reason that I really don't like it, my personal opinion, is, you're pushing these youngsters to really use a lot of firepower on a cue ball. And as we're witnessing right here in this match, you're looking at a lot of controlled breaks, which is really the professionalism that you're looking to accomplish. Mm-hmm. You want to control the cue ball. So I think, 3 balls or 2 balls past the side pocket and maybe a ball in, I think is fair. But hey,
that's the rules we're playing, and so that's the way it is. But I'm like you, Al. I think where I find dissatisfaction with it is that it loses the audience. A ball goes in on the break, and another ball goes sailing around the table, and then they say illegal break. People look at you and say, "What are they doing? Why does that not work?"
Yeah, that too. But when it's explained, it's all taken care of as far as comprehension. But it's an equal playing field,
Mm-hmm.
and we've seen it in the match priors. The prior set that
He's
it
going to
went both ways.
He's going to have to bend this cue ball back in there. 2 cushions, great shot. Almost made the 9.
Keep in mind, you guys out there, if that 9 ball goes in, it will count.
Yeah, that was very artistically played. That was someone that's experienced beyond their years to be able to create a shot like that.
And bend that cue ball.
Yeah, and 2 cushions and make a solid impact. Yeah, that's a great shot.
This is a real test here. It looks like a natural shot. Well, hey, just make the 1 ball and just let the cue ball come back down table. It's tough.
Slightly impeded by the 2, so he has to elevate just a degree. What a nice hit that was. And he's going to be blessed with good reward. He deservedly.
You come with a good shot, you get a good roll, there's nothing wrong with it.
Maxime hails from Moscow. Same as Christina in this match, both of them from Moscow.
And there is an acquaintance that I have, Alex Borokovich, told me about this young man, Maxime. And I went over to Maxime prior to the tournament actually starting. And I said, I was talking to Alex Borokovich. He said, "Oh, Alex, tell him I said hello." He speaks enough English, to really get by. And Alex he said Alex played a big role in sponsoring him and putting him in different tournaments.
A little bit of a fast backswing and jerky transition. That was kind of the crucial shot. Ricky Evans comes to the table, and he's happy to have this shot. It's a combination. Yes, it's not easy, but glad to have a shot, period. If Maxime makes that ball, he probably goes out. Ricky's still alive. Ricky's a pretty fast player, too. I don't think the shot clock will ever be an issue for him. Good job. 4 years ago, naturally Ricky was quite young, but he came to my Lindenwood University Billiards program, and these college kids, and I go, "Here, come on, play this kid." And I knew, and they're thinking, "Well, now isn't this little feller cute?" And he beat all of them. So, did he come up a little short here?
Well, I think there's enough of the 6 ball sticking out that he has vision.
He's got such a great feel, just that natural feel from being around it his entire life. Yeah.
Caught himself a little bit here.
Half jump shot or half masse, one of the two. It looks like half jump shot.
Shot. Watch the cue ball here. He's going to need a shot on this 8 ball.
It's
It's 2-2, and this is a big shot right here.
He's going to have to be a shot maker, and this is the one that will get you to jerk your backswing or wiggle your head, which you can't afford. This requires super accuracy, and this is a shot that's a little bit distasteful, too. You're going to have to settle for a long shot on the 9, even if you make this.
Mark, what's wrong with playing a safety here? What would have happened in a safety game?
Well, sometimes when you figure you're supposed to go out and you mess it up, you punish yourself and make yourself shoot. Rather than
You can play the two-way shot, pro side, what we like to call it, cut it into the left, but just like that.
Yeah.
And just enough speed to leave separation.
Well, wasn't quite as safe as he wanted to leave it. And you know, it's kind of a funny thing. If you leave yourself this shot, it bothers you psychologically. But if your opponent leaves it for you, you're like, well, I could steal this game, you know, and it plays easier.
Yeah, not only that, Maxime came up with the long cut on the one ball initially to open up this game. So
Maxime recognizing this is the pivotal moment, so he goes ahead and applies his extension way early, so he doesn't have to fret over expiring his time. Stayed down pretty well. He was banking for safe. No, he was banking the shot and just hit it way heavy.
He was actually banking that 8
Yes.
ball, believe it or not, and hit it bad.
Much like Chris Robinson explained earlier, the table's playing short, and that came way short.
Well, you know, both teams had ample time to practice, and both teams, as I witnessed, they were playing 3 rail kick shots and 2 rail kick shots into every pocket on the table. And Tom Rossman had a big role in that. Tom Rossman actually told every single one of the American players to now 2 rail kick, 3 rail, and not only that, use every rail and, you know, go around the table. And the difference is, you know, the doors to the arena were open and everything, and the air changed.
Mm-hmm.
There was no fans in here. Now we have a lot of fans in the room, and the doors are closed. So conditions are changing.
Yeah,
and
all
Tom
those-
explained that to the American team.
All those bodies add humidity, and as the humidity rises, the rails get bouncier, and then the table plays shorter. Ricky Evans captures the game, takes the lead for Team USA, now 3 games to 2. A lot of energy in the crowd, too.
Yeah, I like it. And here comes my horse. Once again, April Larson going to come up against Christina right now. I can't get enough April, I'm telling you.
No, she's infectious.
Her mom, and you know, her mom's behind 100% in her family.
And
I
Dad.
know, and her dad.
Dave and Angie.
It's really great to see that. Not every one of the parents are capable of being here, but there are quite a few of the parents here. I believe you guys witnessed it in the opening ceremony where they said how many parents are in the audience, and boy, quarter of the audience stood up, and it's really nice to see. In any case, 3-2, we're going to 6. It's a race to 11 points overall, and as you can see in the upper left-hand corner, the USA leads 1-0.
That would be really nice to get this match behind them, you know, and start off 2-0 in front for Team USA fans. And certainly would not be the start that Europe had envisioned.
Well, I'll tell you, the European youngsters, they really have the heat on them, so to say, as far as the fans are concerned. There's only one fan here from Europe.
Yeah.
But they're solid, and this young lady is solid as a rock. Christina's set to break. Watch the 1. Again, the 1's coming out long now. That 1 was going right in the side pocket for many players.
Doesn't matter, but illegal break.
Illegal. I'm giving this back, Mark. You can have it.
Option USA.
Yeah, there's no reason to play a shot here. There's no shot to play.
Well, there is a rule that they can push out even after
Right.
the option. But what do you do? Push out into a jump shot. So, yeah, April's said, you go ahead. Have fun. You can see her laughing and smiling. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Oh, she's a bundle of energy.
I like it.
Yeah. This push out will lead to the first opportunity to play a good safety for April.
You know, with the table wide open and the way it is right here, the only possible thing you could do is actually bank this 1 ball. Do you go wide open and shoot at it? I say so. You play a 2-way shot, and the cue ball comes down towards the left-hand corner here, and that's the 2 ball that's on the left, favoring the left-hand side of the table there.
Well, she's surveying that possibility and trying to see if she can avoid a blatant double kiss as the 1 ball's very near or maybe touching the cushion.
Right, even though you do want to play the cue ball in that area anyway.
She's going to play safe.
Right.
I like that decision, and this is going to be good execution here. Oh, that puts a hurting on Christina.
That's a great wall of China in front of that cue ball right there.
I think we're going to see a 2-rail kick.
And this is one of my pet peeves as far as players coming up in the world. Don't only try to kick and hit the object ball in there. The main ingredient is to not only kick it, but to play a safe, or play a shot. You definitely want to get some separation between that object ball after you kick it. And that's where a lot of the professional players actually stand up and shine, especially the Filipinos.
Nice hit there. Nice hit. Solid.
She's playing safety all the way, but we've seen those kick shots through our careers numerous times go right into those side pockets.
Man.
Hard to believe, but they find them.
When you're shooting from where she was, a solid impact on the object ball just simply indicates that you made a great kick.
Yeah.
You got fortunate to go in, but you got to hit it solid first.
And getting back to that statement you made a few matches prior, you come with a great shot with a little bit of luck to it like that, and it really pumps you up, and then a shot like that into this corner pocket, you come up with a miss. Now this table, April's wiring up her position for the not only 3 ball, but she's thinking 2 and 3 balls ahead, folks. Even though you just seen her walk around once, I think all April sees is numbers and angles on the table. I think she's a savant when it comes to playing pool.
If she could get position on the 3, which it looks like she got behind the 4 here, so that was the only one that really looked like it could be a real problem.
Very easy to lose the speed of the cloth when you're not up there constantly, like when you're just playing in a constant singles match in a race to 6. You're constantly up there and you get the feel for the whole table.
If she could pocket the cue ball now, she missed the object ball.
Foul.
Ricky Bryant, the referee right there.
He's a great guy.
Sure is.
Supports the sport in so many different corners of the United States. I see him all over.
And he can't get enough of it. I'll tell you right now. The enthusiasm when you talk to him about the game. It's like talking to a kid in a candy store. He loves it. All right, 4 ball to the 5 ball.
Yeah, Christina used ball in hand to make a stun shot so she could pick up the right angle for an easy transfer to the 5. She wants a little angle on the 5, so it's a pretty nice pass. The 9 ball here and get near the 6. She might have gone a little far here.
Well, it's not all that bad because the 6 ball is above the side pocket and the cue ball will be heading up that way. She's looking at the angle for the 6 on the side. Notice where the 7 ball is, so it kind of makes that 6 ball shot a little bit easier on you. It's really not much you got to do but make that 6. Take care of the 5 first.
Gonna try to draw on this side of the 9 ball.
Yeah.
Same side as the 5.
Hit it good, real good.
Yeah, good recovery.
Seven to the 8 and the 8 to the 9 key.
Picked up a nice angle. She just like to get the cue ball just past the center of the table now. That's all she needs. Center of the table is the most valuable position play in the game. Well, she was able to go 2 cushions. She had even a little more angle, worked the cue ball a little closer, got a little straight, however.
I'll tell you what, that was a pretty difficult shot for a young lady of her size. The cue ball was past the side pocket. It was a stretch shot, too.
Now she's going to top spin back 2 cushions out to the middle. I like the way she gets through the ball. She stays real still. You can see her moving her shoulders, lunging at it. That would contribute to her accuracy. Just the 9 ball away from tying up this set. And 9 ball hits the back of the pocket, ties the match, 3 games apiece. And I think we're back to our opening match now. It'll be Chris Robinson and Maxime Dudenitz.
You know, there's nothing like a hill match.
No.
You know,
right.
of course I'm biased, you know, from the United States, but I also like a great match.
Yeah.
You know,
Of course, everybody.
This has got an ingredient right now of going hill.
Yeah, it looks that fair. Yeah. It's a good, tough triples match for sure. Everybody's equally matched.
I tell you, you know, you get two great companies here putting this production together, CSI and ACC Billiards, really coming together, and everybody else, of course, the BCA and
USA breaking, 7th round.
putting this on. And for me, the first time that I recall meeting Mark Wilson, what a gentleman this is. You couldn't pick a better captain for the Moscone. And this gentleman sitting off to my side. Boy, that cue ball found its way back on the table.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was off the table for sure, and thank you very much. But I appreciate the kind words always.
Well, I kind of speak the truth most of the time, Mark. I do fib occasionally. This is one of the times I'm not.
Okay, all right. Well, Robinson made a ball. Was it a legal break? I didn't hear.
He's back at the table, yeah.
Chris is a shot maker. He's a very aggressive player.
I'll tell you what, guys out there and girls, and if you're in the market for any kind of products, and you take a look at some of these sponsor logos that are around this arena, look them up. Everybody coming together made this happen. And, we want to give everybody around that whole room there a big shout out.
Yeah, Rob Johnson mentioned that in the opening, that how they've worked everybody together. They got Skip Nemsek of Tweeton, Master Chalk. Here, you got PCHQ, Simonis, Cloth, they're always there.
Yeah, Ultimate Team Gear is here. And
UTG, Connelly Pool Tables. Nice shot there. Very heady. Nice conservative play.
time to go to the short stick, I would say, Maxine.
Well, he's going to follow your advice, Hal.
Well, you know, kicking it, it's a small ball, number one. And being the youngsters that they are, I know I was feeling no fear, you know.
Well, plus you're kicking to nothing here. At least you can play a shot. And this gives him some length. He can jack up off the end rail. So he figures to hit it.
Watch the accuracy of the young man here. Well, he hit it pretty solid.
Yeah. And he's left it where Chris Robinson has to play safe. That's really as good as you could reasonably hope for from where you began.
You know, it's so hard to feather the left side of this 2-ball as we look at it and then let the cue ball run back up table past that 3 and not hit the 2 full enough to push it out that far where you're going to leave a shot for Maxine. Can he roll up on that 2-ball and then control the cue ball and keep it on the 8?
It takes a pretty sophisticated player, but it's so iffy going right at the 2. I think he's better off to 2 cushion. No, I think he's better off to 2 cushion down, but you'd have to be a pretty savvy player. He's going to play the thin safe. See how he comes out.
That's the problem. You see, you don't want to hit it too full because then you're going to leave the 2 out in the open.
Even if it doesn't go, Maxime has an easy play to handle the 2-ball there because he's so close proximity-wise. He can get his bridge down, so that's why that shot's not a great shot. Now he's relying on Maxime executing an error. I really think he should have 2-rail kicked that, but that would have been an Efren-esque type play, too. You'd have to have that type of savvy and experience to know that that's just because you can see it doesn't mean you can't kick at it. Yeah,
Right.
So combination shot here. This is aggressive. Not an easy shot at all. Well, he made it look pretty easy.
The problem now is it's time to get the break out of the bridge. I don't think he's going to be able to shoot this way and be comfortable.
Yeah.
Pause.
Ricky Bryant stops the clock.
I'm not sure how comfortable Maxime is using the bridge. Of course, you see the Predator stick come out.
That's the bat bridge right there, the Spinelli.
Batman.
He hit it pretty good.
I tell you what, he was pushing the edge of the cliff, letting that cue ball run like that.
Yeah. He had a little inside spin, almost scratched, didn't.
And this is actually far from easy. Sometimes when you're a player up there and you realize that you just took some chance and almost scratching, plays on your psychic a little bit, and plays in your mind that, well, now I got a decent shot, but I almost scratched on the last one. Let's see how he fares on this 3-ball. See, and that's the kind of response. And I'm not saying that's what happened to him, but, I've seen it happen plenty of times.
Well, I would just like to add this, that I believe Upstate Al called it because he didn't threaten the pocket with that shot. It was a miss from the word go. Before it even hit the object ball, he'd already missed it, and there was a flinch, or he didn't like it. It was distasteful, and you could see it reflected in his stroke.
Yeah. Well, he got somewhat fortunate by leaving Chris this close.
Yet Chris is happy to be at the table because Maxime could have made the ball and really been in trouble, where Chris gets to have a little say in the outcome of this rack now.
I like the shot.
Yeah, well executed. Maxime's looking at which way he wants to kick it.
I think he's got the right way, kicking behind the 8-ball and sticking the cue ball down here. And just got to watch out and make sure you hide the cue ball because that 3 is heading towards that corner pocket. I don't think he's trying to kick it to the middle of the short rail. Yeah, it's heading towards the corner, and that's why you had to be careful.
Nice solid impact, good ball speed here. He's left it tough. It's a makeable shot, but it's not an easy shot.
Well, this is a vendetta shot.
Oh, a vendetta shot.
Yeah, because Maxime came with this long shot on
That's
the 1
true.
baller in this match.
That's true.
So let me come with it. The 5-ball is there. The speed is really, really the factor here. Instead of dealing with the speed or the shot.
Oh, this is good billiards play right
Oh,
here.
I like that right there.
Is it out of line for the commentators to clap here?
No,
that was a great
absolutely.
decision.
You can go for it.
Great execution. I enjoy that. Very heady. Maxime's facing a multi-rail kick now just to hit it, and there's really not much he can do. He's just, well, maybe he can kick 1 rail.
Well, he's got to spin it, too.
Wow.
This
He's got a
degree of
mass A to
difficulty
kick it. Yeah,
just went up.
Super tough. It's a good shot. It's not going to get separation, but he didn't sell out an easy shot either. So
Well, hello to Mr. 8-ball once again.
Al's advocating a safety by bringing the cue ball down below the 8.
Yeah.
Amateurs like to bank at this.
Uh-oh. Yeah, there you go. It's a speed shot, though.
Nice job.
I like
nice
that.
job. Yeah. So
go.
that's 2 great safeties, world-class safeties that we just witnessed there. Very heady play by Chris Robinson.
And those are the kind of decisions down in your professionalism that's going to get you to win.
Right.
You have to practice those.
You could go for a wild shot and make it and succeed, but the percentage down the road, what it adds up to be when you make unforced errors of that magnitude, is just too heavy, and especially against the guy with this type of talent that he's facing. You've got him jumping to a bank. So what a hit that was. What a shot. Wow. Well, you forced him to make something happen from nothing. You wouldn't want to have to play that shot again, but a great job there.
And it looks like he can get the top of this 9-ball here and keep control of the cue ball for the 6 on the upper left-hand rail there. Might be able to stay on top. And he did.
Well, he's going to have to make a big draw shot here. This will be, well, it's pretty to watch for us Not easy to execute, but it's got just that little funny angle too, so the cue ball goes closer or angle towards the 8 rather than extreme one way or the other.
The thing is, you know, if you can get the cue ball off to the right side of the 8, you're looking at an 8-9 combination. Let's see what he does. I'm real curious here. Stayed on the left side of it and missed the 6 ball completely.
Yeah, I hit the wrong side of the pocket there. Trying to take down
the English, you know, and heavy draw on it.
I'm like you, though. I think he should have maybe thought about just maybe almost stopping it or manufacturing an angle to billiard on the 9 from the 8, rather than giving up the table.
In other words, play the left side of the 8
right
into the 9 is what Mark's trying to explain. I mean, did explain. I'm sorry, just in case anybody was kind of lost. This is a difficult shot, too, Mark. He's got to come back towards the left side of this 8 ball.
Very small pocket. And he hit it a little heavy. And you can see he still didn't get anything easy out of it, so there was really no reason to use that speed if you were going to have to risk missing the shot, because now it's a relatively routine 3-ball layout that you've turned back over after a couple of mistakes by Maxime.
And Maxime's going to try to force this cue ball out 2 rails, too, I think.
Yeah, he can go the other way. Well, he's going too hard, isn't he?
He forced it. Is what he did. And he's going to wind up okay behind the 9 ball.
I don't think
Chris is going to be happy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Team USA is delighted, although Maxime might be able to see just a small, slender portion of the 8.
Well, that'll kind of help you if you can play the speed of the cue ball and get that cue ball back behind the 9. I mean, that's a lot to ask for.
Right. I think he would like to try to just cut it thin and cut it right down to the center of the end rail on the far, but no, he's got a kick, so he can't even see that.
This is dangerous because the 9 will count if he kicks it solid and makes the 9.
Well, we're seeing a couple unforced errors here that may be a little uncharacteristic of people with this much maturity in the sport. But maybe just a hint of nerves here.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, I certainly have lived it long enough that I'm reluctant to criticize anyone for making a mistake. Along the way, I've lost to anybody you ever heard of. Oh, nice.
I like the way Chris took his time on there and, ran the clock down. Didn't worry about it. Pulled the trigger when he was ready.
Yep.
There you see Earl Munson in the back, the captain of the USA team.
Yep, Earl Munson, the coach, is quite pleased to take the lead here 4-3 in the second set and beat a player that's potentially, arguably, the finest player on Team Europe.
Yeah, absolutely right. What an ad that was right there. I recognized a bunch of those faces there as they were coming up.
They're pretty slick.
Yeah.
ECA coming through. Well, Ricky Evans is up here now. St. Louis kid, 4-3.
And, of course, his opponent, Mr. Vitali, at the table. Again, both players are playing one ball towards that side pocket, but it's been coming out long. And that time it went along to the long point of the side pocket.
Look at this, illegal break. Yet again.
Illegal break.
Listen, I'm not giving this up. I'm taking that 1-9 combination right to the max right now.
Ricky will play that shot too.
Sure.
He's kind of specializes in this type of a shot.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's because he's been around how the balls operate in combinations all his life. And He recognizes that this is an opportunity to put himself and his whole team on the hill here. And you don't have to get another look. If you play safe from here, you might not get this good of a shot later on. So while it does have some difficulty attached to it, it's not desperation. It's just a smart percentage play.
Well, what I'm trying to look for is, in other words, you played a 1-9 combination and look for a place to hide the cue ball after attempting that combination. And I tell you what, it's pretty difficult from this area where you're
If it's not real routine, trying to be cute with the cue ball is never the answer on a combo. So if you're going to play this shot, you just got to kind of go put your back against the wall and go for it.
Well, I don't want to leave a one-ball shot if I missed a 9 or
If
hang
you can
the
help
9.
it routinely, but you can't add difficulty is what I'm saying
Yeah.
in doing it. You have to do the most simple shot here. And this is, or else you shouldn't play it. If you're trying to, or you have to at least make sure that you get a good effort at the 9.
He's firing, folks.
Yeah.
Oh, that 9 ball almost came close to going in that corner pocket up there. But again, leaving the shot right here.
But he almost cashed that in, and that would have been huge, And it was,
Sure. It's a big swing.
Certainly don't blame him for being aggressive in that spot.
And by a big swing, what I'm talking about is the score right now. If you
Put yourself on the hill rather than have the match tied.
Well, it's not tied yet, but there's potential that it could be.
Right. Yeah, I'm not conceding the rack.
Yeah, don't. If you concede racks like this, I'd like to start from here with you all day long. Well,
the hair short.
Yeah, doesn't look like he got as high as he wanted to, because he's got a thinner cut. And you can go 3 rails back and forth across the table for the 3 ball in the side pocket, but you just add a little more difficulty to the shot by not getting up a little further. Maybe 2 rails, right, Mark? And then you have your option, either play it in the corner or the side pocket.
Yeah, it's always hard to tell from our angle because we're so restricted, but I always default towards the player making the right decision. It looks to me like he could slow roll it. Just go to the center of the table, but we'll find out how he feels about it. Yeah, he's not queuing up like it's going to be a big swing. Yeah. I like his judgment there. He was going to play it in the corner. He didn't mean to brush the 3, but it still felt perfect.
And notice what Mr. Vitali just did right there. Is he played 2 balls ahead. In other words, he's got the 4 ball already pocketed after the 3. That's already in his head. He noticed, he took a look at the 5 ball angle to draw back for the 6. And that's how far he played ahead. So, he played ahead 2 balls. And if you can put that into practice and play 2 and 3 balls ahead to create your route to a win, then you're going to definitely achieve some really great play. That I can tell you that much. But it all takes practice. You got to visit your local pool rooms, I'll tell you that much. Or you have a table at the house that you're not using as a dining table, right?
Yeah, you want to
play
have
pool on it.
You want to do both, but he played a nice shot there, his first shot, so that he had an easy approach to the 5 here. Now he can go on either side of the 6, however it lays. Just doesn't want to get too straight here, which it looks like he's achieved 2 straight, so he's going to have to make a big stroke now.
Do you like going forward here, Mark, and spin it out 2
No,
rounds?
I think it's wrong. I think he's going to have to back it up. But when you introduce a little left English, yeah, he did. He hit it nicely. Makes that shot play a lot tougher. He's back in line now.
Now, this all stems back to that initial combination at 1-9.
Oh, yeah, we said there was some inherent risk with playing it, but it had so much value that you just had to go for it.
And how big it would be if Team Europe would come back and tie it up instead of being 5-3 and USA on the hill.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of liking it.
Yeah.
I'm liking this match.
Yeah, 4-4, I guess so.
I'm rooting for Team USA. Don't get me wrong, but now it's 4-4. This is more my cup of tea when it comes to pool.
Yeah.
There's something about a hill match that just gets me excited.
Yeah, that combination, that was one of those tricky plays. You know, it was kind of like having a 15 in blackjack and the dealer's showing a face card or something. Sometimes you just got to muscle up and take a card here, you know.
What an analogy that is. Gee whiz, I hate that position.
Yeah, well, I've been there too.
When it happens to you 4 times in a row, it's kind of scary. That's when you just wrap it up and go home. You know, you kind of give it up.
Yeah, we got your horse back up here, the tie match, April Larson.
I'll tell you what, this is the horse right here.
Yeah.
This is going to be the MVP player one day, this young lady right here. You take that to the bank. Tell them Upstate Al said so, and they'll give you a free glass of wine in the house.
I would consider her to embody relentless positivity. You know, she's just always cheerful, smiling, just brightens the whole room up.
Look
by
at her.
herself.
She's smiling now. She's
Oh, yeah.
having fun, man.
Yeah. No, she loves it. She loves pool. Yeah, she makes my day too.
Score 4-4. USA breaking right.
Once again, the one ball was going into the side pockets, but the conditions are starting to change as the humidity, for some reason. I don't know about you, Mark, but I kind of feel it in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And that one ball's going a little bit long, not really coming in short towards that side pocket.
7
See?
ball is the wing ball. And so we're going to have a illegal break.
And a shot on the 1 for Team Europe.
Yeah.
Legal break. Option Europe.
You know, I ran through some of the achievements of this young lady right here, and that was just a few of them. She kind of has an encyclopedia right now as far as achievements. I tell you what she did in 2015, but there's a few others she did in the same year. Also ACC Team Europe member, 2-time European Youth Champion, and also in 2015, 10-ball Girls Champion. So you can add those to the other 3 that I mentioned.
It's a little bit uncomfortable to play it in the side and not be able to get any closer to the 3. Well, she missed a shot. Uncharacteristic miss, too.
You know, those points of those side pockets start to grow as that angle starts to sharpen up when you get a cut that severe.
Oh, yeah. It's harder, too, when you know you don't get any closer to the 3. You're going to have to play a tough 3 thereafter. That makes that first shot play tougher.
Folks, say hello to April Larson.
Yeah, ever the good ball pocketer. That's her game. She's just comfortable to make any shot.
You know, that window between the 5-9 is really huge. But when you're down there shooting, if you let this cue ball escape a little bit, that 7 ball is huge. And she didn't roll forward. She just played it to the rail. 5 ball does go past the 7 in the corner if she gets high on it. She's looking to play it in the side pocket and then play the 7 in the bottom right-hand corner. The thing is, when you play that 7 ball, you need the angle to get back up table for the 8, which sits at the top short-hand rail on your screen.
Playing this 4 ball is just a funny angle enough that you have to just go all out to make sure you get it in, whether you get the position after it or not, which is what she's done.
Played it perfectly right there.
Tremendous job. She's a good ball pocketer.
And that's the angle she needs on that 7 to get back up there for that 8.
Yeah, she exhibited a little maturity there to go and measure it out, make sure that she could even reach it where she needs to be comfortable.
You know what I noticed a lot about the players, even though at the tender age of 17 and 16, 18, is that clock's really not affecting them. You know, in my mind on the way here, I was thinking that I would see these players turn around on a constant basis and just glance at that clock.
Right.
Their coaches put them in the right state of mind. In other words, don't worry about that clock.
They train with a clock, so I mean it's
Oh,
good
did
coaching. You know, they're familiar with it. And then April played here last year, and so she knows. And the audience responds with a great shot there.
Yeah, sure. She got the angle she needed on that 7 ball to get back up table. So, you know, being on the rail this close to the rail isn't that easy either, even though she can just punch it right back down table.
Well, plus the cue ball's traveling naturally towards the 9. That makes the shot play just a little better. Big shot here. This could put Team USA on the hill.
Watch the side pocket as the cue ball drifts and falls in. What a crush.
Crushing blow is right.
Oh, man.
The one thing I will say with that, if that was a professional player, which this isn't, I'm not being critical of whatsoever.
Right.
But you have to take the side pocket out of there by introducing side spin or stun or something, because it's come so close to that so often.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Team Europe advances, puts themselves on the hill in this match. Unforced error gives them a break. And Chris Robinson emerges here into the arena.
Well, you know, I said in the beginning when this match started that it had the ingredients of a hell-hit match. I'm rooting for Team USA right now to come back and have Chris win this one.
Yeah, it'd be exciting.
I got nothing against you.
All right. It'll be Maxime versus Ricky Evans should that happen. Vitali Petsura is now in the arena. He's from Ukraine. Exciting matchup.
Well, I'll tell you, folks, on the left-hand side of your monitor there, you see there's azbilliards.com, which is really playing a big role in bringing this all to everybody out there that's watching in the live stream. It's free to be a member on AZ Billiards, by the way. But if you want to post something that's going on in your area, if you get a tournament or you're live streaming something, then you have to be a member. But on the other hand, even if you're a member, it's free. We urge you to become a gold member.
Europe on the hill, and Europe breaking.
There are props behind the scene when you're a gold member of AZ Billiards that regular members can't see, such as a long time ago literature about pool and billiards. Again, watch the one ball. It's been going long. That time he split the drawers of the side pocket. The two ball falls into a position.
Illegal break, yeah. Well done there, Vitali. It's pure class to break and run out when you're on the hill.
Yeah, but the angle, look at the angle he's got on the two and the three ball down at the bottom side.
Right.
I'm not sure if he can catch that cushion. And you know, even if he spins the cue ball towards the 8-5 area, he's playing with a little disaster here. He's got to play the right speed. Oh, he had enough to play the inside of it. Wow, great shot. Very nice shot.
Nice bump there on the three.
Yeah.
Got the cue ball free of the cushion. Now he's got to make a long transfer to the 4 on the opposite end of the table, the extreme end. It's going to require a good shot. Both teams came into this match very confident. We're seeing right now there's a 6-player team. We're seeing 3 from each side play, and the next match features the other 3.
Yeah,
Miscue.
that's huge.
Well, if Chris could get some kind of look at the 3, looks like he did too. So this is a shot that you can play with some aggression simply because you're getting an opportunity to score, and it looks like you can fall on the 4 if you do make this good aggressive shot. If you fail to make it, you can pick up a backdoor safety.
Well, he's jacked up, and he's just trying to hold the cue ball to the right side for the call ball.
Yeah, he moved his body on the delivery, so he found the shot distasteful, and you can see it reflected in his approach. If I was coaching him, and I will be this fall, that will be something that we will definitely take note of, that on these long, tough shots, his technique breaks down just a little bit. And not being critical, because you see with pros, too.
He was jacked up.
Yeah,
he was jacked up on the rail.
But still, you got to miss it with as still as a statue with your head. You can't lunge at it. You know, so it's a tough shot. Even if you employ optimum mechanics, it's a tough shot. But you take yourself out of any possibility of making it when you destroy that.
You know, with the shot clock and everything, I'm pretty sure that on a regular basis, without a shot clock, and when any one of the players, whether it be Europe or Team USA, that they would take a little bit longer and definitely play the right shot. In other words, instead of saying, well, you know what, I got a shot clock, let me jack up and fire at this and just slide that cue ball across. Mine took a walk around the table once or twice, and I'm pretty sure they would have because I can see it in them. Every one of these players have it.
Right.
Where they would have definitely said, well, I can do this and play a pretty good safety out
Not
of
to
it.
change topics, but this is a tough position play right here.
Yeah.
Look at how good he hit this. Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it's a great
Awesome.
shot. And the reason being is a lot of times when those balls are in the drawers of that pocket and you come in contact with those points or play the English, it all of a sudden stops. And you say to yourself, what did I just do?
Yeah.
You're so far away from it. That was definitely a great shot right there.
He made that look so easy that it might not be recognized for how tough that is. I mean,
Yeah.
if you take an average league player and set that up there, they almost never get where Chris got with that ball. That was
Great
a good
shot.
shot. Yeah, good recovery. I mean, he needs to take this home, cash it in here.
Well, he's got to deal with getting between the 6-9 and coming to the left side of the table just enough to play the 5 in the side pocket, I believe.
I don't know if
drawing
he's
out.
drawing back or drawing between. He's drawing back. Oh, I like this shot.
Hey, he's got to come low enough.
No matter
got
what,
there.
he's close enough that he can do something anyway.
Yeah, he's there.
I'm starting to get out here on the edge of my seat now.
Well, it's you and all the fans that are out there in the stands are also. And I'll tell you what, if Chris, right? If Chris can get out here, and you're going to hear an eruption in this arena that you never heard before, unless you watched the Moscone Pro Cup. And, how would you say the Moscone Cup? Mm-hmm. Right.
Oh, yeah, they have some very fervent fans there.
Boy, are they going to erupt right here.
Well, he went forward. If this is, he got the cue ball close to the rail. Now, he may have to consider playing the 7 in the corner if this is funny, where he can't snatch the cue ball back to the center. Yeah, he's going to jack up. Still with your head now, Chris. He raised his head right on up, too. Yeah, he didn't like that shot.
Manning got somewhat fortunate from the other camera angle. You can see there's only a touch of the half of the 6 ball
Yeah.
that Mr. Vitali can see.
And people at home are probably thinking, hey, you know what, Mark, if you see him raising his head, tell him to quit raising his head. But that's something that's ingrained and trained. To untrain that would take more than just words. You'd have to spend some time to get that out of there. But that's something that's evolved over time where you can see when he gets those tough shots, he does it every time.
Do you hang weights over his head?
You know
over
what?
his ears?
It's very close to that. What we do is shoot with your eyes closed at the last instant and feel for it to retrain yourself.
You're starting to scare me a little bit, Mark.
Oh. the other thing.
I'll tell you, a magician never gives up his secrets. And Mark's not going to give his coaching up either.
No, I just said you shoot with your eyes closed to get the feel, to make sure you're staying still here. As Vitali played a great safety there.
Wow, ball in hand at this crucial time as Team Europe is on the hill here. You look at the shoulders of Chris, they're not slouching. There's no give up in any one of these young players at all. A lot of times you will see some of the amateurs just shoulder slouch. He's not doing it. He's hoping that somewhere down in this road between these 3 balls on the table that he can get a chance to get back.
Two balls away from possibly securing this match and tying the entire event up at 1 match apiece. Top spin, 2 cushions, Pizarro falls perfectly on the 9 here. Yeah, take a deep breath, make sure you got it locked in, no hurry. Nice form there.
Well, there you have it, folks.
Al, what would you say was the turning point of this match? Anything that stands out?
Yeah. There's a couple of things that stand out, and I would just say there's 2 digits that stand out. The temperature of that changed in the arena from the start of this match when the doors were initially open and everything was cooled off to the point where the doors are closed and the fans are coming in here. You can't believe changing the climate there. That's my thought on it. But there's been some unfortunate.